Good morning. Starting off with a quiz today. I am in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Am I in the East? Am I in the Mideast? Am I in the Midwest? Am I in Appalachia? Answer to come. And the answer is Appalachia. At least that's my answer. There's probably no real consensus on this, but I was thinking about yesterday's Pitt, West Virginia game and how Morgantown is just an hour and 20 minutes from here over a couple of hollers and hills. Hi, my name is Jesse. I'm thinking about geography because tomorrow I go 4 states. I'm driving 4 states to go to the bank, to go to my bank. And yeah, that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about my banking situation, little geography, and why I bank 4 states away. If you're watching my channel for the first time, thank you. I just want to give you a kind of quick background on my situation. I am recently retired. I'm 64 years old. I was teaching at the University of Pittsburgh. Don't really care that they lost to West Virginia yesterday because I'm a Michigan man, but that's neither here nor there. And I spent, probably 10 years teaching and living in China. And I travel a lot, think about where I'm going to retire. And so banking becomes an important issue. And so why am I going 4 states away? Well, first of all, the geography here is very interesting. Before I moved here, I had no idea that I could get to Washington, D.C. in 4.5 hours. So I'm going to Virginia tomorrow, and I'll show you some of the scenery, but I'm going to make this video today. Yeah, so West Virginia is like an hour away, and then we go in some kind of diagonal, and suddenly we're in Maryland, and before too long, I'm in Virginia. And I'm going to the closest Wells Fargo location. It's, yeah, I spent most of my American life in California. Wells Fargo is a big bank there. And part of, can you hear that train? Part of my situation, part of anybody's situation as a retiree, and especially someone who may or may not live abroad, is that I feel you want to hold on to your bank. And my 2 banks are 2 behemoths in California, Bank of America and Wells Fargo. Technically, I think Bank of America is now situated in North Carolina, but that's neither here nor there. You know, years of building up a situation where you've got credit cards, where you don't have to pay for fees. And I found that this kind of legacy aspect was particularly important living in China. China is more closed than a lot of other countries that people who live abroad actually reside in. And over the years, I've had situations where, for whatever reason, I'm using a credit card, say a B of A credit card, and they report some suspicious activity because it's coming from China, and they close my account, and I've got to go through all this rigmarole to get it open again, and then I'm without a credit card. So that's why I have the 2. And then a few years ago, it got more complicated with the Secure Act and the advent of, more and more hacking and two-factor authentication with my phone. And yeah, as things move on, they don't get easier, especially, like I said, for someone who spends a lot of time in China, in Asia. This year alone, I've already traveled 6 of the 9 months of the calendar year. So, having open lines to money is kind of important. I recently, a couple years ago, added a third lifeline, which is Apple Pay, which is really great because, in addition to getting the 2% cash back, there's no transaction fees abroad. It's readily available. Yeah, Apple Pay is actually much better than my credit cards abroad, where they often want 3%. Even if it's, my bank will offer no percent, but the merchants, often want 3% to cover their costs. Yeah, so getting back to the geography, I don't mind the drive. I don't mind it at all because, number one, I love driving. I love seeing my country. I think it's, a great time to think, listen to podcasts, to see the scenery. I get out every once in a while, take a small walk if it's a scenic area. Last time I went there, I spent half the day in Cumberland, Maryland, which is a really historic and cute town. So it's not a burden, it's a good thing. By the way, why am I going to my bank? I've got some stuff that I got to figure out with some accounts, some CDs that are maturing and other ones that I want to change into a different form of saving. Not important to you. As I alluded to before, one of the kind of pitfalls of no longer having an income is that I don't know if I'd successfully be able to apply for a new credit card if I needed it. So I'm holding on to, like I said, the Wells Fargo and the Bank of America. Another roadblock I faced in the banking world since my return to America was that when I came back a couple years ago, I wanted to set up a high-yield savings account with one of these online banks. And so I applied to one and I was rejected. And I applied to another and I was rejected. And although they don't give you a reason, I think I know the reason. At that point, my quote-unquote permanent address, my parents' house, I could no longer use it because they had passed and sold the house. And so I was using my brother's address. And my brother's address, which I'm sure is fine for him, was not fine for me, having no past history there. That's my guess. There's so many new obstacles because of the Secure Act. If you're an American, you probably heard of it. If you're not, don't worry about it. Anyway, it just makes it more difficult to set up bank accounts. Could also have been that my driver's license didn't match the address I'm putting down. Anyway, like I said, that's probably more information than you need. The bottom line is it was a royal pain in the ass. Popping out of Frick Park's Tranquil Trail into the Homewood Cemetery, so you'll notice a little change in scenery. I want to wrap up this video with just an update on my living situation overall. If you have seen my videos before, you may know that I am contemplating selling my house here in Pittsburgh and either moving to Asia, China, Thailand full-time. More likely try to figure out a part of the year in America, part of the year in China situation. In that case, you know, do I really want to hang on to my house? So maybe get a roommate situation, or maybe just a cheap apartment somewhere in this country. Do they still have those? But that's for other videos, other times. Yeah, so I want to thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. If you liked this video, please press the like button. And if you have any comments, drop them below. If you have any advice about my banking situation, you know, I certainly am a seasoned traveler, but this banking stuff, it's a pain in the ass. Anyway, finally, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.